Scout, I love you. I feel like you look like you're judging me. Mm-hmm. Are you judging me? Alright, we're going to try to get through this video quickly because the peanut gallery all around me is just having a little bit of a breakdown. I don't know, it's like nap time for everybody, and yeah, both dogs, both cats, and myself all take a daily nap, so I recommend that you guys take a daily nap too. Anyway, what is today's video? Well, I have absolutely loved seeing the If I Could Only Keep This Many eyeshadow palettes. I think the standard number is like 5. I have 6. And I don't know who started this, so apologize. I don't know like who to credit or who to link down below, so if you know, please let me know. I want to say it was Annette's Makeup Corner, but I don't know if I'm just pulling that name out of my ass, so anyway, we'll just get right into it. So these aren't like necessarily like my top 5 palettes. These are just like if I got rid or had to get rid of everything and could only keep like 6 palettes, then these aren't necessarily like my top 6 eyeshadow palettes if I were to rank them, which I don't know if I could do that. That would give me kind of a headache. But these are like the 6 palettes that I think have a lot of variety between them, and so that I could still do like really fun and interesting like looks, still be like challenged, break out of my comfort zone, and just really enjoy makeup. So, you know, that's where I'm going with that. So anyway, let's just get right into it, shall we? So the, almost dropped them. That would have been very, very, very sad. The first palette that I would keep out of my 6 is the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1 palette. I'm sure you have all seen this making its rounds in YouTube, but here's what it looks like. I absolutely love this. It is just a neutrals palette, but it's so nice to have all these different like textures and finishes in this palette. I really like the glitters. I know glitter isn't eye safe, but you're an adult. You make your own decisions. I have made mine to use the pressed glitters, and I absolutely love them. I do have on today on my eyes, I don't know how well you can tell, but I do have the Story glitter, which is right here. My only kind of beef with this palette, and it's not really beef, it's just like my skill level. Excuse me. This row of like sequin shades, they're really pretty. I don't know if you can tell. They're like matte shades that have like these kind of like pearlized little sparkly bits in them. I just don't know how to work with that row. So like when I apply them like dry, like with a brush or a finger, you can see like those little shiny bits like on your eye. But then when you like blend the shade, it like kind of blends away into nothing. Like the shadow and the color is still there, but those little shiny bits are gone. So then I have seen people take a brush, dip into those shades, and then wet it and use it that way. And that kind of gives like this interesting like gold shift to the shades. And I have tried that, but I'm just not a fan of it. It kind of like, maybe it's just my eyes since they're hooded. It like kind of looks crepey, and I'm just not a fan of it. I don't think they're as easy to blend out when they're wet that way. So that's not how I would choose to use them. But if you have this palette and have a way that you like to wear the sequin shades, like let me know, because I would be more than happy to take your suggestions. But yes, this would be one of my 6 palettes that I would keep. The next one is my only cool tone palette that I own in my collection, and it's the Urban Decay Naked 2. And this is what it looks like. I'm sure you have all seen it, but I just really love this palette. I used to own this about 4 years ago, and I panned a bunch of shadows out of it, and then it fell off my bathroom counter and shattered. So I pined after it for 4 years, and then finally this last time that it went on sale on Ulta's website for $27, I snagged it, and I'm so happy that I did. I still really enjoy this palette, and when I first owned it, I wasn't like very adventurous with eyeshadow. Like I would just do a lot of one and done looks. So I am really happy to have this back in my life with the, like, I'm not saying like I am great at eyeshadow. I'm really not, but my skills have gotten a lot better. So I'm really happy to like have this back in my life and get to see like what I could come up with now you know, being better than I was 4 years ago. So yeah, this one would be one of my 6. That snap closure is just so satisfying. So then number 3, which again, these aren't like in an order. These aren't ranked. These are just 6 eyeshadow palettes that I would keep if I had to get rid of my whole collection. So I picked the LORAC Pro 1, the mini. This to me is just a great everyday neutral palette. It has every shade that you could want just to make like an effortless eye look. I really like the shimmers in here, but I like LORAC shadows. Like, I'm a little bit biased. They're probably the brand that I have the most of eyeshadow wise. But yeah, I just really like this. This is a great palette to me. Just like, I don't know what I really want to do in the morning. I can just look at this, put something on, and it's gonna look good. And no matter what, like, you put together, like, it'll look like you put a lot more effort than you actually did. So the next one that I would keep if I only had to keep 6 is the Blanc Fusion palette by Zoeva. So again, I think this falls in like the neutral kind of like family, but this is like golden neutrals and it's really pretty. This is definitely like interesting. Like, I have other like yellow shades, like I have the Urban Decay Naked Honey, but while that palette is more like browns and yellows, this one is kind of like purples and yellows. And yeah, there are some browns in it, but like, I just like this color story, and I feel like this is a palette that would play nicely with so many other palettes. And that was really the biggest deciding factor in picking like these 6 palettes for this video, was that I feel like all 6 of these, while they're really great color stories and standalone palettes, they would also all pair so nicely together so that you're making like countless endless looks. Then we have the Karity Picante palette. So I actually found this at CVS, shockingly, but this is what it looks like. I just really love this. This is like sunsets in a palette, or like fall in a palette to me. The shades in here are so nice. The mattes are so nice and smooth, as with like in that Zoeva palette. Like, all of these palettes I think are really nice, and I like the formula, but the mattes in this palette and the Zoeva palette are just a little bit better than like the other palettes. They're just so like nice feeling and easy to blend. And then the shimmers in here are really lovely. So, and I'm really like keen on like trying more of these like purple shades down here and trying to make looks with those. So I got this palette. I'd had my eye on it for a while, but then I got it because while it is like just kind of like a warm tone palette, like we've seen those time and time again, I really liked the variety that this one offered, and that it had like these purples and yellows and like orangey shades in it, so that it could like kind of challenge me to go outside of my comfort zone. So, and then the last palette to round this one out, it's kind of like, so ultimately I could have done like the 5 eyeshadow palettes like everyone else, but I wanted to include this one, and it's not actually a palette. Like, it's not one that you can go get. You can get a lot of these shades, but it's a Z palette. So like, you could get this exact palette, I guess. Like, you could just do exactly what I did. But I guess what I'm saying is it's not like a palette that you could like go purchase online, right? So this is my 26mm Pan Z palette, and it's a combination of mostly ColourPop shades. There are some shades from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, the original one. There are some shades from Violet Voss in here, and then I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. But I just absolutely love this. Again, it's like an all shimmer palette, but I come to this time and time again when like I'm feeling like, oh, I don't have like the lid look that I want from like whatever palette I'm using. Like, this is what I come to and use. So this is probably like my favorite Z palette that I own with like all of my singles. And so I had to change this to 6 just solely for this, so that I could say like, no, I'm keeping this palette too. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you would keep any of these like in your, I hate saying like top 6, because again, these aren't like my top ranked eyeshadow palettes. These are just like, if somebody told me like you have to get rid of everything but 6, these. So like, if you agree with any of them or disagree with any of them, or leave your leave yours down below that you would keep. And I hope everyone is staying safe and happy, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.